So good morning, everybody. Um, my thought for you is I had this realization earlier in the week, and it was a little bit of a funny one because I was, doing whatever I was doing, meditating, or I wasn't meditating actually. I was thinking about, what I wanted to teach my next class, and what's been occurring to me a lot lately is that we misuse yoga for what it is, right? So the realization that I had is I was suddenly aware that there's no reason to do yoga. That's it. Bye. That's all I wanted to tell you. You can go. Um, that there's no reason to do yoga unless we have already an understanding that something is missing, that something is out of place, that something is not where we're not in a settled, peaceful place, right? There's no other reason to do yoga. So we start with a yoga practice always with that sense of there's a longing for something that we think we don't have, right? There's a longing for something that we think is missing or out of sync or out of whack, and that's what gets us into the practice, right? But then we often make the mistake of thinking that if we just do the practice as it's given to us, whether it's asana or breath work or meditation or any of it, mantra, we just take the practice and we say, well, I guess if I do it, I'm going to feel the way that I want to feel, right? And often we don't even know what it is that we think that we're looking for. We don't even know what it is that we experience as being the missing piece, right? We have no sense of ourselves. Because ultimately, what is yoga? Yoga is self-realization, not self-realization of I understand my ego, body, and mind, or my ego self, my small self, but the realization of that full expression of the soul, right? That's what it is. It's a realization that that is you every moment of your existence. And it always has been you, it always will be you. This is just an experience of a body and a mind, right? So that sounds very esoteric. But the yoga practice, the practices themselves are tools to take you from the place of where you are in your mind, how you think about who you are and what's missing, into a place where you know that nothing is missing, right? So the practices are tools. But if we don't use them as that and we think that we can just passively kind of go through it and by repetition we'll somehow arrive where we want to arrive, we might get lucky and that could happen. But to really get there, to really find that realization, is we have to have that understanding of what the actual practice is. Because the actual practice is not triangle pose. The actual practice is not any of the breath. The actual practice is not even meditation, right? The actual practice is that act of knowing what your longing is, right? What you're longing for and exploring it, realizing what it is on all levels of yourself, right? If your longing is for peace, you got to know what that is on all levels of yourself. If your longing is for love, you have to know what that is on all levels of yourself. And the practices are just a way for you to do that exploration. So there is no reason to do triangle pose unless you have tight hamstrings, right? There's no reason to do the breath work unless you're already not taking full breaths, right? You have no consciousness of your breath. There's no reason even to meditate unless you realize that there's a disconnect between that big expanded self and how you see yourself every day, right? So these yogic practices is they're not passive, just do them like a recipe and hope that it'll become what you want it to become. They're tools. Use them consciously for your own self exploration, your own self realization. So even though you're all doing the same poses in a class, I hope that you're internalizing it for yourself as an actual exploration of your body, an actual exploration of what it is that you long for in your life, in yourself, not just in your yoga practice. I want to be able to do this, that, or the other thing, but that actual self realization. How are you using every single practice as a tool to realize yourself? Because if you're not doing that, not a lot of reason to do yoga, right? Comfortable seat. I say that a little bit facetiously, is the word, because there are lots of reasons to do yoga, even if that is not your intention to realize yourself. But you're here. You're capable of practicing at that deep level. There's no reason not to, right? Eyes closed. Get in touch with your breath. And by getting in touch with your breath, I want you to get in touch with that inner sense of longing. That when you sit to practice, when you come to your mat, when you come to meditation, when you come to anything that is yoga, what are you asking for? What are you hoping to receive? What are you hoping to experience? What do you long for that you are convinced that you don't already have? It's that state of longing, even if it feels like there's a little bit of empty. That's the magnetic pull. Energetically, that pull is going to drag to you every experience that will fulfill that desire. Breathe very deeply, relax your shoulders. Feel your lungs expand with your breath. Just that, can you just feel the full expansion of your lungs with your breath? And with 100% honesty to yourself, what do you long for? You may never say it out loud, but say it in your own mind, in your own heart. I long for this. One more breath, deep into the lungs, full expansion, front, side, back, full lung expansion, and full lung release. And bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. This mudra, we say, how may I serve? Not just how may I serve the world outside, but how may I serve my own longing for self-realization? How can I turn everything that I do in the direction of helping me to realize the truth of what I long for? So bring that in, that this is not a practice to take you outside. This is a practice to take you inside. We open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. Release the hands, please. Come forward onto hands and knees. Begin to cat and cow. You set your hands, you set your shins, and move your spine. Good. I've been contemplating a lot earlier in the week. I was talking about mantra practice and it being different than just using an affirmation. It's different than just repeating something that sounds good. It's not a magic spell. And if I just say it, then something will happen. Something will happen. But it happens faster, it happens deeper, it becomes real for you when you realize that you are uniting with a living energy with the mantras. And if you're not into mantra in general, you're not into a lot of Sanskrit, you're not into the idea of having to talk your way through that. Sound of Om, the root of all mantras. Sound of Om combines all mantras, the only one that you need, the inescapable one. Move yourself just a little bit faster, please. The sound of Om, it said, has the power to carry us across that gap from our ignorance, our sense of ourself that something is wrong or incomplete, to that understanding, that self-realization where nothing is missing. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch your right arm out wide to the right. Good. Slide that arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze. Walk the left arm forward towards straight. Good. Press into your shins. You press into your shins, you activate the legs, you can pull back through your hips a little bit longer, lengthen your side ribs a little bit longer. Good. And then pressing into that right arm, open the ribs a little bit wider. So turn your heart towards the sky. Nice. And then bring yourself back up to hands and knees, please. Go to the other side. Take the left arm out wide. Slide behind the right wrist. Shoulder finds the floor. Good. Walk the right arm forward towards straight. Press into your shins. And by pressing into your shins, you get a little bit of a lift through that front edge of your pelvis. Good. And you keep getting really wide with your breath through your lungs. Front of your lungs, back of your lungs. Nice. The word we use for the breathing practice is pranayama. It means the extension or the fullness of your, not just your breath, but your life energy. Your breath is one manifestation of that. Good. Open the ribs a little bit more. Press into those shins. And then come all the way back up, hands and knees. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips. Come back to downward facing dog. Good. Bend your knees a lot. Take your butt back towards your heels. Good. Pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Even more, Perry, like you're going to take your butt to your heels and then drop your hips super low. Yeah, even lower. Even lower. Yes. There you go. Good, you guys. And then scoop into the belly. Lift up onto the balls of your feet. Take your hips super, super high, straight in the legs. Good. And then let the heels soften down towards the floor. Nice job. Right foot steps forward, left foot steps forward, come to the top of your mat. Good, you got it. And then fingertips on the floor or blocks, bend your knees, drop your sit bones back like you would for a chair, drop your head. Good, so keep the head dropped. Yep, hips are low. And then round into your low belly, pull the belly up off of the thighs. Good, stretch the arms up alongside your ears, chair, breathe in, long, long, long spine. Good, and then exhale, hands down to the floor, please. Start to take your legs to straight, take your hips to the sky, come up on your tippy toes, standing forward fold on your tippy toes. If you need blocks under your hands, make sure you have them. Good, so you're squeezing those inner thighs in, scoop your belly, push your butt to the sky. Good, and then release the heels to the floor, bend your knees, sweep the arms up alongside your ears again, come into chair from your navel, reach long, so push back through your hips, press out through the upper body. Good, and then come all the way up to stand, please. Interlace your fingers, press heels of the hands up to the sky, come up onto your tippy toes, so rise up. Good, squeeze through those inner shins, outer shins, navel in and up. Your ribs have to fold slightly in for this balance. Good, and then take your heels flat to the floor, please. Bend your knees, come back to chair, arms still in the same position, so keep pushing out through the hands. Good, pull your ribs in, send your thighs back, send your butt back, but do not drop your belly to your thighs, push out. Good, and then hands come down to the floor or blocks, please. Straighten your legs, scoop your belly, come up on your tippy toes in your forward fold. Good, pulling up, try to bring the weight towards the big toe mound, scoop into your belly, push your butt to the sky. Good, and then heels down to the floor, bend your knees, inhale the arms up to chair. Good. Nice, you guys. Throat lifts up. Come all the way up to stand. Interlace your fingers. Press heels of the hands up. Come up onto your tippy toes. One more time. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Draw your ribs in and the top of your thighs, your low belly up. Good. And then drop the heels, please. Bend the knees again. Drop back to chair. Beautiful. Hands to the thighs, please. Cat, cow in chair. Nice. Why do we practice? We practice to start to regulate our prana. That's what the physical surface level of the body practice of yoga is getting in touch with your prana. So not just your breath is a big part of it, but can you feel the actual flow of energy through your body as you practice? Or is your mind just focused on, am I making the right shapes with my body? Right? Can you actually feel that there's movement, that there's awakening, that there's awareness that happens because you are doing these postures? Good, come back to stillness, please. Arms up alongside the ears, chair. Yep, I know, drop those hips a little lower, come up on your tippy toes in chair. Yes, nice, Jeff, just take your hips back a little further. Good, that's it. Heels to the floor, really good, you guys. Hands to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. I'm trying to avoid doing a lot of arm stuff, which is what I did yesterday because poor Sara did 2 classes of arm stuff, so I don't think her arms are going to take it if I make you do a lot of shoulder stuff today. Separate your feet a little wider. So we're going to do a lot of thigh work instead. Right hand to left ankle, please. Good. Left arm to the sky. And your feet can be as wide here as you like. So often we say there's the subtle difference between feet right underneath the hips and feet as wide as your mat. So see where you start to feel that there's an opening in the outer legs. If you don't feel it so much with the feet right underneath the hips, separate your feet a little wider. You'll probably feel it there. Good. Deep breath in. Release and come back to center, please. And then go to the other side. Right hand to left ankle, left arm to the sky. Good. Draw your throat back. Draw your heart back. Yeah. Breathe as wide as you can, front of the ribs, back of the ribs. If you are taking full breaths, right, you're bringing in as much of that expansiveness as you can. Changes the state of your mind, the power of pranayama, power of your breath. Good. Release that hand down to the floor. Come back to center. Nice, you guys. Heel toe your feet a little closer, please. Take your hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Good. Hug your right knee up in towards your chest. Yeah, squeeze in. So you squeeze in, send the top of your left thigh up and back. Good. And then cross that right thigh on top of your left, wrapping the legs for eagle. So the thighs come on top, the outer shins press together. Bend your left knee a lot. Good. And then wrap the left arm on top of the right in front of the chest. Eagle arms. Nice. Squeeze that right butt cheek and hip back and in, because once you cross the leg, the natural tendency is that you're going to swivel your pelvis in that direction. So your right hip is going to swivel forward. Pull it back and keep pressing your shins together. Almost like you have to, that, you know, cartoony kind of, I have to pee. Roll your thighs in. Yes. Nice. One more breath. And then you're going to keep the arms as they are. Try not to put your foot down. Bring that right leg up off of the thigh. Stretch it back behind you, warrior three, with your arms in eagle. So right leg comes back behind you, arms in eagle. Good. Falling is not a problem. Your mind gets crazy because you're falling. That's something we're working with. Good. Step back, high lunge, please. Good. Lift the elbows a little higher. Yeah. Now unwind the arms. Take the arms all the way up and alongside the ears. Beautiful. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice job. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Right thigh parallels the floor. Good. Hands on blocks or something solid. Come up on the tippy toes of your left foot. Scoop your belly. Push your hips to the sky. And then maybe even bend your elbows, let your head, let your chest drop towards that standing thigh a little deeper as you push your hips to the sky. Awesome. And then release that heel to the floor, still bowing deeply. And then step all the way back, nice long lunge. Good, drop the back knee, both hands inside the front foot. Walk towards the upper right-hand corner of your mat. Nice. And then drop down to your elbows if you'd like, or stay on fingertips, but breathe deeply into that outer hip. Good, so Debbie, if you want to drop the back knee here, you can, just so you can let the hips go a little lower. There you go. Nice and guys. Good. The actual practice is not what I can or can't do in this position. The actual practice is, can I tap into the flow of my prana? Can I notice where my mind starts to get into a state that is whatever it is? Am I getting judgmental? Am I getting fearful? Am I getting anxious? Am I getting angry? Where does my mind go? Because I guarantee you, when you're just in that physical, I just want to do the practice, your mind goes wherever it usually likes to go. Can you keep it on the experience of right here and now? Good, you guys. One more breath. Drop yourself a little lower. Nice. And then walk the hands back in, please. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee up. Both hands stay inside the front foot. Wrap that left shoulder in, bring that left shoulder into the inside of the left knee. Wrap the arm around behind your heel. So your left hand is coming to the baby toe edge of your foot. You got it. So your upper arm is going to be pushing against the back of your calf, and your calf is going to be pushing back against the upper arm. Keep your hips lifted, so pull your hips a little higher. And then really pull your hips back, almost like you're trying to take them into down dog. And then really lift your upper chest forward, lift through the back of your throat. Maybe even bend your elbows a little bit like you're pretending you're going towards chaturanga. Widen your chest. Pull your arm bones back. So you're pushing forward against that against that calf, and your calf is dragging back, but chest super wide. Lift the back of your throat. If you're not looking slightly forward, you're going to miss some of the power of your back. Good. Deep breath. Nice. And then unwind that arm, please. Beautiful. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Nice. Squeeze the feet and the hands towards each other. Good. Come up on your right fingertips. Yep. Try not to let your hips go out of square. Release that hand flat. Come up on your left fingertips. Release that hand down. Come up on right fingertips. Yep. You can do this on knees too if you need. Come back down. Come up on left fingertips. Heidi, bring your armpits forward a little bit more. Release down. One more time. Right fingertips. Yep. Release. Left fingertips. Good. Release. Lower all the way down to your belly with awareness. Don't throw yourself on the floor. Good. Point the toes back behind you. Nice, Crystal. Rise up, cobra. Head, neck, and chest. Yeah. And then come back, please. Downward facing dog. Good. Step or jump your feet to the top of your mat. Nice. Totally bonus points if you jump, always. Good. Hands to your hips, please. Come all the way up to stand. And pull the left knee up and towards your chest. Yep, squeeze it in. As you squeeze that knee in, the top of the right thigh goes up and back. So already you got to get that stretch through the front of your thighs and into your pelvis. Then take the left knee over the right, crossing the legs like you for eagle. Bend that right knee a lot. And then left arm comes on top of right in front of your chest. Wrap the forearms. Good. And then your hips are going to naturally swivel in the direction that your legs are crossed. So that left hip is going to come too far forward. Pull the top of your left thigh and hip back. Good. You're going to say, but now I'm off center. No, you're coming back to center. Good. Nice, Teresa. Try and pull that left thigh back a little more. That's it. Good, you guys. Drop your hips a little lower, chest a little higher. This is for your back. So lift as vertical as you can. Don't lean forward. Lift up. Yes. Hello. Good. And then keep the arms, please. Unwrap that left leg. Sweep it back behind you. Warrior three. Lean forward and push up through your sacrum. So if your pelvis stays light, your pose will stay steadier. Good. Nice, nice, nice. Extend. Push out through that heel. Beautiful. Nice, Melody. Nice, Pam. Nice, Rosalind. Step back to high lunge, please. Really good, Heidi. Good. Arms still in eagle. Lift those elbows a little higher. It's okay if you lost it. Keep your mind steady. And then unwind the arms, arms to the sky. Good, Jan. Good, Perry. Beautiful. Release the hands down to the floor. Both hands inside the front foot. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Both hands framing the foot. Walk yourself forward. Standing split. Wouldn't want you to miss that. Good. Again, making sure your hands are touching something. You have that lift of the back of your pelvis. Push up. And then come up on the ball of your right foot. So scoop in. Yeah. So it's not that I drop all the weight onto my hands so that my lower body doesn't feel like it has to work so hard. It's can I really pull up to the core of me, the back of my ribs, the back of my sacrum. Kick that thigh higher. Jan. Yes. And Ron. Good. Nice, Lauren. Awesome. Release the right heel to the floor, please. Now step back. Nice long lunge. Drop that back knee. Good. Both hands inside the front foot. Walk to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Come on down to your elbows or rest on your fingertips. Hi, kitty cat. Breathe. Good. The true practices of yoga are not the external form. It's not the poses. It's not the name of the breath. It's not the type of meditation that you do. It's not the choice of mantra that you use. The true practice is, are you aware of your prana? Are you studying that? Are you conscious of what your mind is doing or not doing? And are you cultivating that attitude where when things are difficult and you're finding edges in yourself that you don't run away? We call that tapas. When there's irritation, when there's agitation, when there's a feeling of, I don't know that I like this. We don't shut down, we don't turn away and try to find something that feels easier or normal. Then we start to experience more. So tapas is not just make your life miserable. Doesn't mean make everything hard. But it does mean that you have to have effort. You have to have willingness to seek out the understanding of your longing. Don't expect it to just drop in on you. Good. Walk your hands back in, please. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee, keep the hands to the inside of the front foot. Right shoulder snuggles up against that right knee. Slide the right hand behind the heel. Good, so it comes to the baby toe edge of your foot. And then I like a little bit of a bent elbow here because it gives you more access to your back and your chest. If you can keep your elbows a little bent, that's my suggestion. Back knee is lifted, pull those hips a little higher and push back like you're gonna try and take your hips into down dog. But then with those elbows bent, pull your hands backwards and lift your chest forward. Super wide, look slightly forward because that's gonna get you into the strength of your neck connected to your back. Good, and hang out there and breathe super deep into the back of your lungs. Breathe into the back of your heart. Good, but you're pulling in both directions. Awesome, you guys, one more breath. Good, unwind that arm, please. Step yourself back, downward facing dog. Really good. Slide forward to plank pose, upward push up. Good. Squeeze the hands and the feet towards each other. From plank, so not lifting the hips any higher, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Pull it forward. Yep, armpits stay over the wrist. Good, step it back to plank. Good, left knee to left elbow. Good, keep your shoulders right on top of your wrist. Step that leg back to plank. Good, right knee forward. And step it back. Don't drop your head, please. Keep your head up. Left knee forward. We said you lose power in your back when you drop your head. Step that left leg back one more time each side. Right knee forward, squeeze it in, navel in. Good, step it back, left knee in. Good, and step it back, lower down slow. Yep, all the way to your belly. Stretch the arms straight back towards your feet. Good. Long legs, lift the feet up off the floor, float the legs up off the floor for locust. And then drawing in through your low ribs, lift head, neck, and chest. Float the arms up as well. And then turn your arms, so you start, right, palms facing down. Turn your arms so that your thumbs are facing up towards the ceiling, pinkies down, palms facing outward. And move your hands a little wider away from you. Good, so thumbs should be up, pinkies down, palms facing away from you. Good. Open chest, open chest, open chest. Good. Bend your knees, still in that lifted position. Lift your arms a little higher like you're going to reach for your ankles. Don't reach for your ankles. Good. Just extend, really reach through the heart. And then release. Nice job. Forehead to the floor, or make a pillow with your hands if you choose. Nice. There is the place where we have to have effort. Because you are the one that is in charge of your prana. You are the one that is in charge of your realization. So as much as it's often said that if you just practice emptiness, if you just practice letting go, that everything that you desire will come to you. True. But in the process of learning how to let go, you have to understand what you're clinging to. You have to have a sense of what you're clinging to and why. And the effort, there's effort in the experience of, how do I let go? How do I step over that edge in myself? It's that magnetic quality when you are seeking, the longing, and you place effort behind it, because you will drag to you whatever will fulfill your experience, whatever will fulfill that desire. But if you put no effort behind it, then whatever comes to you will have no space to live. No reality is realized. So what do you long for that brings you back to your mat? What do you long for that brings you back to whatever practice it is that you enjoy doing, even if it's just, I like Cobra, I like Triangle, I like the physical practice. Walk your hands back alongside your ribs, please. Press up to hands and knees, come back to child's pose for a moment. Good. And then bring yourself back up to hands and knees and come back downward facing dog. Awesome, you guys. Step the right leg forward between the hands, lunge. Drop the back knee, inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Rise up, rise up. Good, squeezing the legs towards each other. Beautiful, hands to heart center, please. Prayer twist, left elbow comes to the outside of your right knee. Good. And puff into your kidneys, as we say it. Draw into the back rib cage, so pull your belly away from your thigh and rotate your heart towards the sky, towards those thumbs. So it's that same mudra, how may I serve in this position? Where am I turning my heart to? Good. Drag those shoulders onto your back, so hug the armpits towards the center of your back. Nice. And then come back to center, inhale the arms up to the sky. Yeah. And then release the hands down to the floor. Good. Lift that back knee up, please. Yep. Take your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. You got it. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt, stack the right hip on top of the left, open, open, open. Yeah. Nice. Good. And then bring that knee back to face the floor. Step the right foot forward between the hands, please. Drop the back heel, baby toe parallels back of your mat. Warrior two, cartwheel the arms up. Virabhadrasana. Good. It was Ganesh's birthday yesterday. In case you're one of those people that likes to celebrate everyone's birthday. Come up on the ball of your front foot, please. So lift your front heel. Yep, still in warrior two. Drag the feet towards each other. Yeah, nice, you guys. And then let that heel come down to the floor, please. And feel as though as that heel comes down, it drags back towards your back heel. So the back of your right thigh wakes up a little more. Good. Drop the left hand down the back thigh, right palm spins up and back, reverse warrior. Keep that front heel digging down and dragging back. So your legs are very, very powerful. Front knee is over the front ankle. If that's not possible, change your feet so that it can be possible. Good. Come back up to center, please. Beautiful. Straighten the front thigh. Squeeze the legs towards each other. Reach that right arm forward, right rib cage forward. Extend, extend, extend. Good. And then take the left arm over the ear as well. So you're hovering, both hands reaching out. Don't reach for the foot, just both arms extending out straight. Good. And then turn your ribs open more. Yep. Turn your ribs open more. Good. Stretch that left arm straight up to the sky now. So you're pulling through that left side. Let the right hand reach down towards the floor. Good, like you're coming into triangle, but no weight on that right hand. So find its resting position where you can maybe press it up against the shin of your front leg, but I don't want you to rest weight there if you don't have to. I want you to really open through that left rib cage and keep extending through the arms. Keep pushing through the crown of your head. Keep pressing through the feet. Yeah. Triangle pose. There's no point unless you know that there's something in your body that's going to become realized and open through this. One more breath. Good. Bend that front knee. Come back to warrior two, please. Yeah. Hands come back behind you. Interlace the fingers at the low spine. Turn your ribs forward. Bow inside your front thigh. Legs are still in warrior two. But bow forward. Good. Squeeze that right butt cheek in because it's going to push out to the side. So pull it back and in. Nice, Anju. Just hug those shoulder blades towards each other. Good, Rhonda. Good, Pam. Laura, bring that left shoulder and rib cage forward more. Yes. Awesome. Release the hands down to the floor, you guys. Nice job. Good. Spin your back heel up. Step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Vinyasa if you'd like. Child's pose if you prefer. If you're doing the vinyasa, slide forward to plank. Lower down. Rise up. Cobra. Upward dog. Don't forget your head. Your head is part of your spine. Good. Downward facing dog as you are ready. Nice. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Drop the back knee. Use a blanket there if you'd like. Inhale the arms up. Anjaneyasana. Good. Yeah. Squeezing the back knee and the front heel towards each other. Hands to heart center. Prayer twist. Right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Good. Drag those shoulder blades towards each other. Ribs and belly move back away from your thigh, but your outer knee is pushing into the elbows. Big toe mound of that front foot. Right? All of those little cues is not so that you just perfect the pose, but it's so that your mind is 100% focused. We call that dharana. Last step before meditation occurs. Bring your mind into one place. Good. Come back to center, please. Arms to the sky. Very nice. And then hands come down to the floor. Good. Lift the back knee up. Take your left leg up and back to down dog split. Good. Bend the knee, kick your heel in towards your butt. Stack the left hip on top of the right. Open. Nice. And then point that knee at the floor, please. Step the left foot between the hands. Lunge. Back heel comes flat. Baby toe parallels back of your mat. Warrior two. Take the shoulders up over the hips. Good. Rib cage moving wide. So right ribs are moving wide to the right, but your inner knee of your front leg, so your left inner knee is pushing wide to the left. And try to have this feeling that you're actually lifting your left hip point a little higher up towards the top of your mat. Good. Come up onto the ball of your front foot. So lift the heel. Nice. Squeezing the legs towards each other. Awesome. And then release that heel flat to the floor, feeling that as the heel comes down, it's dragging back. You're pushing into the heel and dragging back so that there's a sensation at the back of your left thigh. Wake up that hamstring. Right hand drops down the back thigh, left arm comes up and back. Good. I know it feels like effort to be in warrior two for a long time. Don't get tense with it. Get steady. Good. Nice, you guys. Bring the arms back up to letter T. Straighten your front thigh. Good. And then left arm extends forward like you're coming into triangle, but don't reach that hand down. Take the right arm over the ear as well. So both arms extended, straight overhead. Good, Marjorie. Nice. Good. And then you're still hovering, but you're going to let that right hand reach straight up to the sky. So it's going to pull that right rib cage, that right side body higher, get lighter. And then let the left hand reach straight down as though you were going to reach for the floor or your leg. But try to not put weight on that hand. Just press the forearm up against the inside of your shin. And keep opening your ribs. The part of triangle that we habitually forget is that it's a twist. You have to open the ribs for it to open the hips. All right, so you're stacking that right hip. You're stacking your right rib cage. Twist into your belly. Nice. Throat back. Do not stop reaching. Good. And then bend that front knee again, please. Bring yourself back to warrior two. Good job. Hands behind your back. Interlace the fingers. Spin your ribs forward, please. And then bow inside the back of the front thigh. Keep your back heel on the floor. Left butt cheek is going to have a tendency to pop out to the left. Pull it back and in. Good, Alana. Nice. Try to balance your shoulders, you guys, so that they're moving forward at the same rates. Yeah, a little bit more with your left shoulder forward. Other way. There you go. Good, you guys. Squeeze those arms. And then release the hands down to the floor. Nice job. Spin your back heel up. Step forward, top of your mat. Good. Straight legs. Come up on the tippy toes of your feet, balls of your feet. That's it. And then release the heels down. Good, hands to your hips, come all the way up to stand. Nice, hug your right knee up and towards your chest. Is your mind doing that thing? Mine does this usually at this point in the class. It says, how many more standing poses do we have to do? If your mind is doing that, that's okay. Just focus, right? This is the only one that matters. Good, cross that right ankle over your left thigh, please. Bend your left knee. Come back into cross-legged chair. Hands at heart center. Good. So this is one, again, that you might stay exactly where you are. Some of you who feel very comfortable in this position might want to play, come up on the ball of your left foot, still in cross-legged chair. Yeah. A little balancing cross-legged chair. It's a tricky one. You got to bring your butt almost lower to make it work. Center of gravity, you got to keep your hips lower. You got it. I can see you're doing it, Martha. You got it. Good. Relax that heel. Really good, Jeff. Good. Bring your elbows forward, please, to rest on your shin. So come lower. I know if you thought you could just give up, you're wrong. Awesome. And then hands to the floor or blocks. Keep that ankle crossed, straight in the left leg, standing forward fold, crossed. I know some of you are wondering why. So just the ankle over the thigh, Perry. Keep the knee wide. Just the ankle. Don't wrap the legs. There you go. Good, you guys. Release that right foot down to the floor, please. Find both feet. Standing forward fold. Shake your head. That's it. Awesome. And then hands to your hips. Come all the way up to stand. Good. Second side. Left knee comes up and towards your chest. You don't have that many standing poses left. It's okay. Good. Left ankle on top of right thigh, please. Bend your right knee. Come back to cross-legged chair. Good. Interesting in cross-legged chair, right? That part of the challenge here is, again, your right leg has to do a lot of the work because it's a supporting leg, but that doesn't mean the left leg should be doing nothing. Doesn't mean your left hip is sliding back. Keep your left hip in line with your right. And again, if this is enough, stay here. If you want to play with maybe seeing what it's like to really move from that center of gravity, that's your pelvis, lift that right heel up off the floor. Come onto your tippy toes. Maybe even drop your hips a little lower. Good. Nice, 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 nice. Really good, you guys. Falling is not a problem. Release that heel to the floor, please. Drop the elbows forward onto that front shin, still in cross-legged chair. I know. It's a lot. Good. And then release the hands down to the floor or block. Start to straighten your right thigh, still with the left ankle crossed over. Pull your hips to the sky. Try to keep your hip points level. So again, that left hip is going to have a tendency to drop lower. Pull it up. Rhonda, pull. Yep, left low belly, a little higher. That's it. Push through the left side of your sacrum, you guys. Awesome. And then release that left foot to the floor, please. Nice job. Good. Standing forward fold. Good. Bring the feet together, big toes and heels to touch. Come up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees wide into a little squat so your hips are coming towards your heels, knees are wide. If that doesn't work for you, come into full squat, so feet wide. If that doesn't work for you, come into Baddha Konasana. Good. So hips dropping down towards your heels. Let your heels start to relax towards the floor, press towards the floor. Walk yourself forward inside the knees, so arms forward inside the knees. Good. So your knees should be on your outer ribs. Good. And then maybe just stay here, pushing the heels down, pushing the hips back, knees wide, chest forward. Or the bind is where you take your arms, upper arms, in front of your shins, wrap the hands around the backs of your heels. So you're wrapping the arms around the front of your shins, holding hands behind your heels. Good, but chest still pulls forward, butt still pushes back. The idea here is that eventually your heels will come flat to the floor. So Perry, arms to the front of your shins, not underneath. There you go. Yeah, but your arms have to start inside the knees. Not quite. All right. One more breath, you guys. Get low. This is garland pose. Good. Really nice, Ronnie. And then unwind the arms, please. Come on down to sit gracefully on your butt. Hooray. Stretch your legs out. Wow. Good. Right leg stays extended in front of you. Bend your left knee. Yep. Place the bottom of the left foot into the right thigh or the right leg. Let the knee drop wide. Janu Shirshasana. Stretch the arms up alongside your ears. Little stretch to your right. Little twist to your right. And then bow forward. The right leg is extended. Left knee is wide. You got it. Good, Ronnie. Good, Laura. All those people who I can't see you. Good job. Your practice is not about this pose. Pose is a tool for you to understand yourself. And where is the understanding? What habitually are you doing that leaves your body tight? That leaves your body inaccessible? Are you using your joints properly? Are you using your muscles properly? Is there any awareness of what health in your body feels like? For most of us, the answer is no, or very little. Right? If we have a problem going on, we have no idea what to do. We run to an expert. Self-awareness, self-realization. Every pose is a tool. Every breath is a tool. If you don't know what you long for, how are you ever going to be aware when it happens? Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Take your left hand back behind your left hip. Left hand behind your left hip. You're going to press up onto that left shin and then lift your butt up off the floor. Right foot comes flat to the floor, right arm to the sky, up and over. Good. So you're pressing into your left shin, lifting your hips. Keep that right leg straight. That's it. And just lift the hips, open the chest, throat back. Good. Just a little back bending action. Yeah. Really nice. Good, Alana. Good. And then release back down, please. Good. Come into spinal twist. So your right hand now comes back behind you. Left hand reaches for that outer right thigh. Look back over the right shoulder. Good. And then come back to center, please. Nice. Switch the legs. Take the right leg straight, left leg straight out in front of you. Right knee comes in. Let that knee go wide. Arms up. Little twist to your left, so over that left, the left thigh, and then bow forward. The real practice of yoga is comprehending, realizing what it is that you long for and how it already exists within you. That's all the letting go, the uncovering, the process of what we say yoga is. As though your eyes were closed and you said, I really wish I could see. And someone said, you could just open your eyes. And then one day you finally do and you're like, oh, it was that easy? I just had to open my eyes. But that fundamental shift from my eyes are closed to open is huge if you don't know how to open your eyes. That's what practice is. Discovering what it's like to open your eyes. Walk yourself back up, please. Good. Right hand comes back behind you, behind the right hip. Press up onto that right shin, lift the hips, left foot finds the floor, take the left arm up and over. Open chest, open pelvis. So it's like you're trying to turn your pelvis up towards the sky, you're trying to turn your ribs up towards the sky, almost like you can imagine that eventually this will turn into some variation of wheel. I mean, it won't, but you imagine that, right? That you're opening up that much. Good, Debbie, just really stretch that left leg straight. That's it, good. And then bring it all the way back down to your seat, please. Come into spinal twist, reaching the right hand to your outer left thigh, left hand behind you, throat up, chest up. So don't lean onto that left hand. Lean away from the left hand and twist through the lowest part of your belly. Navel in. Good. And then come back to center, please. Nicely done. Take your legs out in front of you. Stretch them wide, wide strata. Good. Arms up alongside your ears. Flex your feet. Press down into your heels. Good. And then from your pelvis, start to reach forward. Press your butt back and extend. Reach, 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 reach. Hands do not touch the floor. Keep reaching. Hands do not touch the floor. So maybe hands have to be behind your head if extended doesn't feel good for the shoulders, but keep reaching. From your pelvis, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching, keep reaching. Press into your thighs. Good. Nice, Allison. Keep reaching. Awesome. And then release the hands down to the floor wherever they rest. Good. Don't lose the strength of your legs. Keep those heels dragging down. Keep those thighs pulling up into the hip socket. Awesome. And then walk yourself back up to sit, please. Good. You're going to bend your knees coming into fire log. So right shin is going to come underneath left shin. So you're stacking left shin on top of right, if that is possible, ankle to knee. If that is not available, then you can bring the legs a little wider. So the left heel will be in the knee crease. Or if that still doesn't work for the knees, left shin in front of right. Feet flex. Good. So stack yourself as necessary and desired. You can use props if there's a big gap between the knee and the opposite foot. Good. And then either you're staying upright just right where you are, or take a forward fold. Start to walk your hands forward. Good. Just flex your feet a lot, Andrea. Flex, 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 flex. Yeah. So the flexing of the feet, you guys, is not just because it helps to activate the muscles to help the knee stay stable, but the flexing of the feet also, with that muscular engagement, means that you're going to get more actual stretch through your outer thighs up into your hips. So flex your feet, whatever your position is. Good. I can't even remember what text it's in, but there's an entire statement about how, you know, in the yogic Hindu old tradition, of course, there's fire ceremonies. So you offer everything into fires, and that's, you know, what would be done for the deities is you offer everything into the fire and your prayers and all of that. And I believe it's Krishna, and maybe this is from the Gita, but it's Krishna who says that, you know, the offering is God, is Brahman, and the fire is Brahman, and the one who's giving the offering is Brahman, right? The formlessness of God, the fullness of God. And the one who is receiving the offering is Brahman. So what are you really doing? Right? You yourself as God is making an offering of God to God so that it can be received by God and so it can be acknowledged by you, who is God. Right? Self-realization, whatever it is that you are doing, is a tool for you to realize that truth. Walk yourself back up, please. I know you were all totally ready to get out of that pose. You have never moved that fast. Slowly unwind, take your legs out in front of you. Good. As wide as your mat, legs straight. Separate the feet as wide as your mat. Good. Reach for your ankles or your feet. Something steady to hang on to. Nice long spine, straight arms. And then as you exhale, bend the elbows wide. Bring yourself deeply in, but press those heels down, push back through your butt. Yeah. So that tapas energy, right? I'm really ready to get out of this pose, but can I relax? Because I'm still there. Right? Fire log. What am I offering into the fire of myself? My own devotion. What am I offering myself? You would offer yourself the best, right? If it was someone you loved, you would give them your very best. So when you make that offering to yourself, by God, it's got to be your best. Walk yourself back up. Switch sides. So you're now taking your right shin on top of left, or right shin in front of left, flexing the feet. And again, your choice of either staying upright, fingertips behind you, or taking your forward fold. And you can change it, right? Especially if you're in fire log with the ankle on top of the knee, you come forward into that forward fold and you're like, it feels great for the first couple of breaths and then it feels terrible. You're allowed to come up. right? Again, tapas is not I make myself miserable. It's that I don't let my mind run away from discomfort. I see where there's a place to stay peaceful, either in the position without moving, if that's possible, or I change the position and don't let it bother me. Keep your feet flexed. Keep your mind steady, right? This pose is an offering to yourself. It's not for me. It's an offering. I want my hips to be as happy and able to move with me through my life. I want to be able to sit steady, maybe do that meditation thing, or just sit steady and not be in pain. How about that? I want to realize that whatever is painful in me is not a necessity. So I devote myself, give the best offering that I can, my effort, my longing, sincere desire to achieve, to realize what is beyond my own pain. Don't give up. Even if you change your position, don't give up. It's only a tool. Good. And then slowly walk yourself back up. Unwind your legs. Take them out in front of you. One more forward fold. Legs as wide as your mat. Reach for your ankles or your feet. Long spine, straight arms. And as you exhale, bend the elbows wide. Bring the chest forward. Press into your heels. It is very interesting being, the observer that I'm watching all of you while you're practicing, how much more crazy fidgeting and distractions we're capable of during a yoga class. I totally get it if you need to do things, you're home, you have all the distractions at home. But can you make those distractions part of your practice where your mind stays steady, even if you have to get up, even if you have to walk away, even if you have to do a thing, even if your cat walks in front of you, on top of you, child jumps on you, whatever. Walk yourself back up. Good. Bring the legs a little closer together, slide forward, come onto your backs. Onto your backs. Good. Bend the knees. Bring the knees in towards your chest, actually. Knees in. Cross the right thigh on top of the left, please, wrapping the legs like you would for eagle. So right thigh on top of left, press the shins together. And then left arm on top of right in front of your chest. So you're literally an eagle just lying on your back. Good. Don't let those hands fall onto your face. Yep, you're just an eagle on your back. Good. So for a moment, bring those knees slightly forward away from your belly. Yep, so that you feel the whole lower back on the floor. Find those lower abdominals. Keep your shins parallel to the floor if you can. Good, deep breath there. And then as you exhale, curl up, bring the elbows and the knees towards each other. Yes, and then inhale, extend out to that point where again, you feel the whole lower abdominals. Exhale, squeeze in. You can just do the legs here if the whole body is not working for you. You can just bring the legs out and in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze in. Good. Inhale, extend. Find the whole spine. Exhale, squeeze in. Yes, one more. Inhale, extend. Exhale, squeeze in. Nice. And then unwind, release that squeeze, unwind the legs, unwind the arms, knees into your chest. Happy baby. I haven't been giving you a lot of rest. I want you to learn to be restful in your mind even when you're moving. What I find happens a lot is that when we do a lot of resting poses, it triggers our mind to go somewhere else. So as long as I'm in child's pose, I don't really have to be paying attention. As long as even happy baby, I don't have to be paying attention. Every pose is a tool. Don't wander away. Bring the knees back in. Good. Switch the cross. So left leg on top of right, wrapping the legs. Right arm on top of left in front of your chest. And again, start with just bringing the knees slightly away from the belly so that you feel the whole length of your sacrum. Good. Squeeze those shins together. And then on your exhale, bring elbows and knees together, or just pull the knees in towards your chest in that cross. Good. Inhale, extend back out. Long spine. Good. Exhale, squeeze in. Nice. Extend out on the inhale. Exhale, squeeze in. Release out. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze in. Really good, Diane. Extend out. Last one. Exhale, squeeze in. And then release the squeeze. Unwind the arms. Hug the knees in. Back to happy baby. Bring your knees wide. Reach for the ankles or the feet. Keep your low back pressed to the floor. The only reason to practice is so that you realize something about yourself. It can bring those heels a little closer, please, and knees a little wider. There you go. Yep. Heels in, knees wide. Awesome, you guys. And then bring the knees back in towards the chest, please. Bring your feet down to the floor, the twist. Arms alongside you for bridge, elbows to be bent or arms straight. Press into the feet. Good. Drag your butt towards your heels before you go anywhere. So you've got that activation of your legs. Chest lifts up, so from your armpits rise up, and then pressing into your feet, lift the chest, lift the hips. Good, Carrie, just make sure that the back of your head is flat. Looks like you have your chin lifted a little too much. Good. Nice, release the hips down to the floor. Coming back to bridge, so make any adjustments that you need. Yep. And then set yourself up, lifting through the ribs, lifting through the hips. Right leg to the sky. One-legged bridge. Drag that left heel back. Good. And then extend that right leg forward. So it's in line with the left knee. Don't put it down, just extend it forward. Drag that thigh up into the hip. Navel in. Take that right heel straight up towards the ceiling. Pull up higher. Yes. And then release that right foot. Release the hips. Powerful poses. Don't do anything with passiveness, but do it with awareness. There's a reason why this pose has significance. Discover what it is for you. Third bridge. Set your arms. Lift your chest. Lift your head. Good. And then left leg to the sky. And I like to say that when you lift that leg, you should get lighter, not heavier. So you've got to pull from that internal space. You've got to use your back. You've got to use your low belly. You've got to use that inner thigh. Good. And then the leg stays lifted, but bring the left foot forward so it's in line with your right knee. So it's going to extend straight out in front of you and push out. And then pull the top of that thigh up into your hip socket. Drag your right heel back towards your right butt cheek. That's it. And then shoot that left heel back up to the sky. Get higher through your ribs. Get higher. Good. Release that heel back down to the floor. Release your hips. Nicely done. Separate your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees drop to the right and to the left. Good. Next time the knees drop to the right, let them rest there. If you'd like, you can put your left ankle on, or sorry, you can put your, right ankle on top of left thigh. If the knee doesn't like that, just keep the feet wide where they are. I need you to breathe really wide. Breath and the mind are linked. Why? Because they are both prana. Right? Your mind is made of prana. Your body is made of prana. So everything that you do in yoga literally is just you fooling around with your prana. Come back up to center, please. Feet still nice and wide. Drop your knees to the left. Twist the other way. And again, optional as the knees drop. If you'd like to place the left ankle on top of the right thigh, feel free to do so. And what is prana? Prana is Brahman, formlessness. Right? That underlying truth of yoga that everything is just one. It's only one. How do you begin to realize that nothing is missing? You start to realize that everything that you are, that you have, that you do is one. The mind just has to get used to that. That everything that you do is a tool to regulate your prana, to understand your prana, to move your prana, until it's in the form where there is no separation between that full experience of the soul and yourself as this body and mind. No difference. Slowly bring the knees back up to center, please. Good. Hug the knees and squeeze. Forehead up to meet your knees. Good. And then extend the legs out in front of you. Take the arms up alongside the ears. Interlace the fingers. Press out through the heels of the hands. So on your back, arms up. Interlace your fingers. Press out. Find your hands, the backs of your arms resting on the floor. Try to find your ribs resting on the floor. This is Tadasana. Find Tadasana on the floor. Backs of the thighs press down. That means the tops of the thighs soften, the front ribs soften. Extend, pull out. Nice one. Good. And then release all of that effort. Let the arms come alongside you, palms facing up. Let the feet drop open. Shavasana, perhaps the most important pose, not just relaxation, it is a pose meant to help you find the experience of yourself beyond the limits of the physical form. So breathe yourself very wide. See if you can feel that you can ride the breath beyond the boundaries of your skin. And maybe even internally repeat the sound of Om, the sound that carries you across the gap from ignorance to realization. the awareness back to your breath. And the body begin to stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. As you're ready, draw the knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. Take a moment before you begin to push the floor away. Come back to an upright seated position. Bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or again, any mudra that has been serving you well. If the hands are together again, we begin and we end here because this is the mudra that says, how may I serve? Not just how may I serve my life or how may I serve what's outside of me, but how can I serve that inner longing? How can I devote everything that I do to the purpose of understanding that inner longing and fulfilling that inner longing, that there's no other reason to practice, right? None. Because everything that you seek is going to come from that place of longing. So you practice all of the things that you do as tools to realize the self that you are, what you think you're missing, and what it's like to have nothing missing. That's all we're doing. You have to know yourself, so get in touch with your longing. Why do I keep coming back to my mat? What am I experiencing here? What even is my prana? Start to understand that, because everything that you do on your mat and off is your prana. Through that understanding, everything will be fulfilled. The goal of yoga is to realize that nothing is missing. You are already that oneness. Just get used to it. Your longing will bring you there. Get in touch with that. Close with the sound of Om, again, the sound that carries us from a space where we are ignorant of our fullness. We think something is missing, to the experience where we know without a doubt that nothing is missing. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your day, a great rest of your week until I see you again. Please do keep paying attention to emails and all that stuff, because lots of fun stuff is happening as we go into September. There's going to be a couple of little schedule tweaks, new things, and things shifting around. So get excited. Mondays especially, I'm teaching a new class. We're calling it Master Class, but it's just Yoga Geek. So I'll just be breaking poses apart, really exciting poses, in the way that I would for those workshops. So that's going to be Mondays at 4:30. So you now have a new thing to do on Mondays starting September. But take a look, because there's going to be some fun schedule changes going on, and we love you.